Welcome. You're with the Nasty Pastor. I'm back with another segment reading, another chapter reading. From what else could it be? The Stolen Legacy. The author is George G. James. And by now you ought to understand why I'm in love with this book. By now you ought to understand that, this was a fruit that I didn't want to let go, did let go, really didn't understand that. Let me write down this publishing house address. Let me write down this author name. Let me get the title of this book, and when I get out of prison, let me order this. You feel me? You know how when you're tapping into to education, to history, and not saying that I won't taking it serious. You feel me? Not saying that I won't pacify my time in prison by reading. I'm not going to say that because evidence shows that. You got what I'm saying? What I should have did, what I didn't do, still put me on a journey of receiving the knowledge I needed to receive. You got me? Whether I did it then or whether I did it later, what, it's done. We understand I have knowledge of this. We understand I love this. We understand my birthright is within this. Look, you with the Nasty Pastor. Please go to my YouTube channel, Only Faith Ministries, Kemet Edition. Put a subscribe on there. Put some likes on there. Go on my comments and, challenge some things. I want to hear from you. I really do. I want to hear what you know. I want to hear how you see things. And if we're in a society where my brother is my keeper, why aren't y'all raising up the black youth? Why aren't y'all raising up the elderly black community? Because some of them are stuck in their ways. Some of them are stuck in the education that has been proven to be outdated. Look, I'm going to go on and get into this chapter, and we're getting into chapter 2, and chapter 2 was broken down into like sections, you know what I mean? And it was A, B, C, and the last part of chapter 2, it was A, B, C, D. I did A, B, so we're going to do C and D now. And it starts off with the Peloponnesian Wars, 460 to 445 BC, and 431 to 421 BC. Owing to the ambitions of Athens to dominate the Ionians and other neighboring peoples, Pericles launched a campaign of alliances and conquests extending from Thessaly to Argos, and from Euboea to Naupactus, Achaia, and the chief islands of the Ionian Sea. The net results were as follows. Athens established alliances with both Tuatia, Phocis, and Locris in spite of Sparta's opposition. In 456 BC, Aegina was captured and made tributary. In 450 BC, Athens failed in her attempt to invade Corinth. In 451, friendship between Athens and Sparta was restored through the instrumentality of Cimon on the condition that Athenian alliance with Argos was dissolved. In 447 BC, the exiled oligarchs of Thebes defeated the Athenians at Coronia and reestablished the Boeotian League under Theban leadership. In 445 BC, the 30 years peace was signed, and after the revolt of Euboea and Megara, Sparta invaded Attica, and Pericles sued for peace. Athens lost all her continual holdings. And before we go on, I want to say this, you know what I mean? You see how they go back and forth. You see how there's alliances made if you denounce their alliance with them. You know, that's more like I'm gonna come. That's more like I got you against the wall and telling you this right here. I will destroy you if you keep on dealing with them. You get me? You understand how life repeats itself, but the how to put it, the picture is different. You get what I'm saying? Like, you giving a person an ultimatum. You see how long giving a person an ultimatum been in the world? You feel me? You see how a lot that we do in the now was done back then? So when I say we adopt, laws, we adopt personalities, we adopt ways of life, we do. We really do. If it worked, you see it has a success rate of 100%, it's usable, right? Cool. The Second Peloponnesian War, 431-421 BC, like that of the first, arose through a general spirit of rebellion amongst the Greek city-states against Athenian imperialism, Sparta being the chief enemy. The net results were as follows. In 435 BC, war between Copria and Corinth, Copria being aided by Athens. Athens blockaded Potidaea because she refused to dismantle her southern walls and dismiss her Corinthian magistrates. Megara was excluded from Greek markets in order to reduce her to subjection. The Peloponnesian League planned war against Athens, and Boeotia, Phocius, and Locris were to fight against Athens. Corcyra, and a few northern states. In 431 BC, Thebes attacked Plataea while a Peloponnesian army occupied Attica. The Athenian fleet raided Peloponnesus. Pericles, being unable to defend Attica, adequately transferred the civil population every spring to the area between the walls of Athens and the Piraeus. In the meantime, the Athenian fleet operated against Potidaea and Peloponnesian coast and Corinthian commerce. Mytilene and all the cities of Lesbos reported a brutal massacre of oligarchs took place at Corcyra. In 425 BC, a Laconian force at Pylos was captured, and a fort was established through Demosthenes and Cleon. Cythera and other stations were fortified against the Peloponnesians. Amphipolis was captured by Brasidas and a Spartan who had instigated rebellion amongst the Athenians. Allies after Brasidas and Cleon had been killed in battle. Athens authorized Nixias to sue for peace. It is obvious from a study of the causes and effects of the Peloponnesian Wars that A, the Greek states were envious of each other, and B, the desire for power and expansion led to constant aggression and warfare amongst themselves. C, the condition of constant warfare between the city-states was unfavorable for the production of philosophers. Before passing on to consider my next proposition, I would like to say that it is an accepted truth that the development of philosophical thought requires an environment which is free from disturbance and worries. The period commonly assigned to Greek philosophy was exactly the opposite of one of peace and tranquility, and therefore it could not be expected to produce philosophy. The obstacles against the origin and development of Greek philosophy were not only the frequency of civil wars and the constant defense against Persian aggression, but also the threat of extermination from the Athenian government, its worst enemy. You know, them Persians was powerful back then, man. Them Persians must have had a time when they was on top. Their military was on top. You know what I mean? They must have the best of the best, because it's explaining, you know what I mean, that some of these cultures was trying to build alliances with the Persians. You know what I mean? The Persians just was going around invading these different cultures. Part D, philosophy requires a suitable environment. I must now add the following quotation which depicts this period. For although the natural ills that best mankind are many, we ourselves have added to them by wars and civil strife against one another, so that some have been unjustly put to death in their own cities, others driven into exile with their wives and children, and many have been compelled for the sake of their daily bread to die fighting against their own people for the sake of the enemy. Now come on. How long has it been going on? How long has it been going on that within the black community we keep fighting against ourselves? If we keep killing ourselves, the enemy ain't got to do nothing right. Our oppressors don't have to do nothing right. And as you see, and I'm gonna stand on this. I'm really getting ready to stand on this. As you see, it's not a lot that our oppressors do to us now, right? Drugs have already killed us. Drugs have did a domino effect that even with our kids not touching drugs, they come out our women's womb affected by drugs. So if they're already affected by drugs, that means that there's something mentally wrong with them already from the start. So how are they 100% capable of functioning in America? You get it? Come on, man. Bill, come on. Come on. Come on. Let's build this back up. Let's get off these drugs. Let's bring some babies into this world that can think in the now, can think, can have forward thinking and progress the black community. You feel me? Push the black community ahead. Come on, man. Yeah, that was the end of chapter 2. And like I said, you know, let's get off these drugs. Let's get off anything hindering the way we think. Let's get off anything that hinders the mental state of the black community. Enough is enough. You know, when I said put the guns down, I don't mean put them down and you go out here and be slain because you put yours down. No, put the guns down, pick a book up. It ain't nothing wrong with driving to a courthouse, driving to a rally in DC with your gun in the glove box or your gun in a lockbox in your car, but you got your papers of education with you and you're able to talk it, speak it, and get some change done within the black community. You feel me? An ignorant man will pull the trigger without knowing what is it called? The punishment, you know, the not sacrifice, but you know, the punishment behind it. You know what I mean? Whether or not you go to prison, whether or not you go to jail, there's something mentally you're going to go through. You feel me? You're going to go through something mentally, shooting a person, killing a person. So I say to you this again, you know, let's raise the black community. Let's start to think about our babies. Let's start to make sure our babies are in the now, thinking about the babies that they do not have in the world now. You feel me? In other words, if we can get our babies to understand what you do today, kill tomorrow. Feel me? So you might think about, okay, I ain't gonna go over here and shoot Billy Bob. Okay, I'm not gonna go and destroy this new subdivision up with drugs and violence. Cause then the property price drop, which makes it if you're a black person in, you know, a black homeowner in a new subdivision where that you're figuring out how to take this property and make it a business, the drugs and the violence just killed any profit you're gonna make. Anywho, once again, I am the Nasty Pastor. Please go to my YouTube channel, Only Faith Ministries, Kemet Edition. You can find the playlist of Stolen Legacy. You know what I mean? You can get into Stolen Legacy and figure out exactly America, exactly how America adopted laws out of Africa from your ancestors. So what make you, let me back this up, how America adopted laws from your ancestor. Now I ask you, what makes you stupid? What makes you dumb when you come from a nation of great people? I love you, and I'm out.